What's going on, Virtual Smoke Deck? What's going on, Cigar World? This is Jack, the cigar enthusiast.
You got Johnny, the cigar banker.
And this is Sean with the smoking section.
And we are the Virtual Smoke Deck, man. What's going on, guys?
What's good,
What's up,
Jack?
brothers?
What's up, Sean?
Hey,
What's going on, guys?
hey, it feels good. Like this right now is the new trio and the new visuals of the Virtual Smoke Deck, man. I hope you guys are ready for this ride, man.
Oh, absolutely.
And listen, we got to think of a nickname because Three Stooges is already taken, right? So we got to come up with something. I don't know. I'm gonna brainstorm. It's like three. I don't know.
The Three Smokers. I don't know. We'll come up with something. Hey, that's kind of corny, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Hey, man, I hope everybody is doing good,
man.
man. We got a action-packed show for you guys today. We got Dan Thompson here from Micallef Cigars. We're super excited about this. We got some stuff in the works and brewing and stuff like that. What's up, Brian? Byron from Houston, and then Brian from Ohio. Then we got Julio, and then obviously, man. Hey, look, if you're new to the Virtual Smoke Deck, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell, and give us a huge thumbs up. If you're watching from Instagram, watching from Facebook, go ahead and share it to your favorite group. Create a watch party, invite some friends, send a link to somebody, man. We're about to have a awesome show that's really just doing what we do on the Virtual Smoke Deck.
It don't have to be virtual either. You can smoke while you're watching the Virtual Smoke Deck, right? So light one up too, all right?
Hey, there you go. I know our guy Charles is gonna ping in soon.
And
Charles,
he's smoking and drinking good, man.
Hey,
hell yeah.
Hey, we got to give a special shout out to Charles, man. Charles for the last couple months, I say probably about a month and a half, 2 months, has been consistent on this Virtual Smoke Deck every single day. Every single week, and always smoking good, always interactive. So, man, we love you guys and we appreciate you guys for sure. But nevertheless, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get this show going so we can go ahead and get our guests on the show. We'll see you guys in a few seconds.
We off in this place, catching vibes, sit back and we blaze in the sky like a outer space.
So what's up, guys? How's your week been? How's your week been?
It's been good. I kept a sober weekend, man, because I went way too hard Friday night, man. So
that's a blessing.
Sober.
I know Father Bob is happy for you too.
Ooh, he can tell you a story, man. He definitely is happy.
Oh my God.
Listen, we did a fundraiser for the Cigar Club, and Father Bob, let me tell you about Father Bob, man. The past two events we did, Father Bob has donated a personal box of cigars out of his own collection to raffle off to raise money for the club. Like, he's the OG. So
oh my God.
He was collecting the tickets, and he was like, Johnny, I said, Father Bob, I don't know which one you can do first, my wedding or my funeral.
Hey, and that's the sad part because that's Johnny here, okay? Hey, Johnny getting married, we all gonna show up.
Oh,
we all gonna just
surprise!
Oh boy.
Sean, how was your week, brother? You working on the new house?
Working like a dog, man. We finally got a new carpet. I took Thursday off. I had new carpet put down. The cigarette smoke is finally out of the house. Been doing some painting, getting some light fixtures up, man. It's looking beautiful. I can't wait to start moving in next weekend. It's going to be absolutely amazing, guys.
Man,
nice.
Hey,
so I
just want to let you know, as I've been looking at your kind of the videos and moments that you've been sharing with us, bro, that's amazing, you know. And the fact that you're going in and doing all the work now, that makes it that much more rewarding too.
Well, I've had a lot of help because my father and my soon-to-be father-in-law, he's been helping me, and of course Jess, my fiance, she's been in there nonstop, wiping things down and helping with whatever I need. So everybody's been a big help. So real quick, shout out to them. Thank you guys for helping me out. But I can't wait, guys. And like I said, I'm just happy to be here. I'm freaking thrilled to be here right now. So we're gonna hit it.
And we're excited to have you, bro. Like honestly, when this is like we talked about this for the last couple of weeks, and we talked about how impactful it was going to be and how it was going to be a change. And me and Johnny brainstormed this, this several times. And I was like, man, what about Sean? And I was like, man, I'm gonna reach out to him and see how it goes. And as I sat back and I thought about it, and now seeing it kind of fruition, it's just crazy. The direction that the virtual smoke deck is going. I tell people all the time, this wasn't just a show for me. It was a show for the cigar industry, and to really exemplify the excellence and the ability for people to just see different perspectives from from the cigar industry. And I couldn't imagine two better people that I'm going to be spending my time with for the inception of the virtual smoke deck. And I think that's freaking amazing.
Yeah. Well, I've been following both you guys for a long time. I mean, Jack, I had a really good relationship with you.
Yes.
You gave me my start on your show, on this very show, which kind of inspired me to start doing my own videos and kind of, trying to keep up with you. And then, with Johnny, I've been watching him with his crazy boots, his crazy outfits, and always having a drink in his hand and a perfect cigar, man. And I'm just like, to have the lifestyle of two fly gentlemen such as yourselves, I'm like, I gotta keep up. I gotta keep up somehow, some way.
I wouldn't say fly. You gotta remember that rainbow outfit I had, man.
Oh,
I mean,
with the high waters,
with the high waters.
I mean, you know what? If they can do it in the NFL, Johnny, I don't know why they can't do it with the cigar scenery. You know what I mean? Like Cam Newton paved the way for you, brother. Like right there.
It just hit me. Like I have both of you guys on the show in different capacities. Like, and oh my God. Anyway, we got to get our guests on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Let's bring him in.
Hey, man. This is a guy that really, has over the last month and a half found the virtual smoke deck and been a real big involvement into the virtual smoke deck. We have heard great things about Micallef. We have heard, all the great things that comes around the tobacco, and actually sitting down with this guy in Dallas, and him opening up the doors of the factory and his warehouse in Weatherford, and really getting to know him, man. Dude is down to earth, man. And there's we're at a point right now in the virtual smoke deck where guests is an honor. But it's not our focus, and it hasn't been for at least a year. But there's certain guests that we want to come on and really just bring a great vibe in addition to the show. And I think Dan is that guy, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead and stand by to bring our guest of the hour, Dan Thompson from Micallef Cigars. What's up, Dan?
Hey guys, how are y'all doing?
What's up, Dan?
Man, I am honored to be here with you tonight. I think you're the highest energy cigar show I've got to visit this year.
Thanks. That's a compliment, man.
Thank you so much,
that is
Dan.
a compliment.
Will Cooper is a good friend of mine, but he's got a little different style. So it's good to be here on a Sunday night with you guys getting warmed up.
And
Absolutely.
Every time we post, it's the best halftime show on the internet, and every single week we're going to bring nothing but the best energy that we possibly can. Dan, it's an honor for you to be able to take the time out of your busy day, especially after this busy weekend you had, and join us on a virtual smoke deck. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just honored to be here. So thank you guys.
So Dan, as we get into this, I tell people all the time, we're not a traditional show. So we're not going to sit up here and say, hey, Dan, what's your favorite cigar? Tell us about you. I was amazed by your story, and I would love for you to share a little bit of your story with us. And then we're going to roll into this interview, man.
You want me to talk about me or about Micallef Cigars? I'm much more interested in Micallef Cigars.
Let's do that, Dan.
No, I give you a little bit of background. So I actually grew up in the great state of Texas. I went to school, got a chemistry degree, and went to work for this little software company called Microsoft, where I spent 20 years traveling around the world, 3 weeks a month. It's not nearly the challenge that you guys who've been in the service have had. I've got the most respect for you being away from your families, but it's hard traveling 3 weeks a month to Europe and South America and Asia. And after 20 years of that, I said, I think it's time to focus on my hometown communities and really take everything I've learned from business leaders all over the world and see what I could do. And that's when I joined Al Micallef and his team. And today I run Micallef Cigars, which is what we're here, brought us together. And I run a company called JMac, which does silicone fabrication. We build products that go in other products. An example is like when the canopy closes on the F-35 fighter, there's a silicone gasket that takes care of the pilot, and that comes out of our factory. So wow. we are very fortunate and blessed, and I just love being able to create jobs here in the Fort Worth area.
Yeah. And Dan, you know, without having to say this, we're going to go ahead and say it anyway. I think the work that you're doing with Micallef is really speaking volumes, not only to the fellow ambassadors, and we're gonna make Sean and Johnny an ambassador before we get off the show. Hopefully,
I'm already an ambassador.
Everything, right? I need them to take out their fingers and prick a little blood, show us that they're committed.
I'm already an ambassador. I have my challenge coin and my certificate.
All right, Sean.
So we're missing Johnny. You got yours?
No, I don't. But we can make it happen. Let's make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, and just being an awesome guest of ours. So kind of getting things started, man. Tell us how the weekend went, and what actually prompted the open house the ambassador open house that Micallef did this weekend.
Yeah, you know, our story is a little funny. We entered the cigar industry about 6 years ago, and we came in as a manufacturer. And that's a little different than when you come in the brand game and you're buying cigars from other people. We actually own a facility in Esteli, Nicaragua, and we buy tobacco from the fields, we bring it in, we process it, we build our own cigars. That's an interesting way to come in to the cigar industry. And while we're very good at manufacturing, we had a lot to learn. As I told Jack and his wife when they were there, I go, let me show you this long list of mistakes we made. And it ain't bad, because that's how you learn and know how to grow and improve. And thank goodness we've got what we call the Micallef ambassadors now, who provide us direct feedback and retailers. But in 2020, we started evolving the business. We'd made a bunch of mistakes, and it was time to learn from those mistakes. And at the end of 2020, we did an open letter at the beginning of the year. But by the end of 2020, we said we are committed only to brick and mortar retailer shops. Yeah. You know, so like the business that Jack has, and that's because they're family owned, just like we are. And we want to do business with people that we understand. So we're a pro-family business, pro-growth in the cigar industry. We want to bring new people in and help new smokers discover it. And we're very strong in pro-advocacy of the industry, because we want to protect our rights. It turns out that the brick and mortars, that's the backbone for protecting our rights. Yep. And so, yes, we've got wonderful products, and we can talk about that. But, you know, our mission here is to grow the industry and ensure that we have the right to do the things that brought us all together.
You know, speaking of open letters, like that was a very big staple, not only for Micallef to do, but I know you even got some feedback from some other people in regards to the open letter that you put out. A lot of people don't do open letters because a lot of them can't commit, you know, over a course of time. And the fact that something that you did in 2020, you feel proud enough to still talk about it in 2022 is amazing. So when you speak of this open letter, man, tell everybody what that actually means and what that is.
So we had a chance, because when you open and you're a new manufacturer, you start selling cigars, you're really trying to figure out how to get your sales going. But as we learned the industry, we realized that we were also selling to these online giants like Cigar International. And I'll just be candid and talk about them, because they're the ones that really drove us to the point where we are. What we realized is that those online stores, you may be able to get specials and cheaper cigars from time to time, but you're putting the brick and mortars out of business. Yep. And we realized we were in a strategic position where we're lukewarm. You guys understand that being lukewarm is the way to die. You know, you got to pick a side that you're going to be on. And then when we realized, all the brick and mortars, well, they're family owned. We're family owned. That's where all the advocacy in the country happens from. It's at the municipal, state, and federal level, up through the brick and mortars. We made the decision that we were going to leave Cigar International. And we call that Independence Day. And it's something that's very important to us. And each year on that weekend, we host an open house where we invite our campus is closed, but we open everything up and we throw a party for our ambassadors where people came from Puerto Rico, from New York State, all over the country. We had about 125 guests last night for dinner and drinks. And the cool thing about the ambassador community is they turned it into a 3-day weekend where they had golf tournaments, they had shooting competitions, breakfast. I mean, it was an amazing weekend. And we're able to pull it off because we have this incredible community called the ambassadors.
Wow. And that's got to be hard for you guys as well to kind of, when it's almost like when you're being breastfed and then you have to start, bringing your own stuff. Now you're not being supplied, or, you're not bringing yourself to a point where you're in every Cigar International book now. Now you're basically having to try and find a way on your own. And we're in an industry where not everybody goes to their brick and mortar. It's a lot easier to just go online and, Cigars International, or, Cigars Daily, or, whichever one. It's so hard to go out and actually support your local brick and mortar. So you had to basically start all over again. So
Sean, your instincts are so right. It's like having a sugar daddy.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Every couple months for a lot of cigars.
Yep.
Now, the problem is they do all kinds of discounting and weird things that hurt your other stores.
Right.
But this kind of abusive sugar daddy that we had called Cigar International, and it was a very lucrative piece of business. We had to say, we're going to step away from this, but we also need to think about our customer experience. It's very important because we didn't have cigars in every shop in the country, that we had some family-owned brick and mortars who could sell online and provide those types of services.
Yep.
So we have some guys like Neptune and Smoke Inn and Two Guys, which are some big players, but we also worked with several smaller players, Big Boys in Tennessee, Smokers Haven in Lubbock, Texas, where these were smaller family-owned shops, but they worked with the ambassadors, and now they have a full business, AME Cigars, that they never had before. So we're very pro-business in creating it. And when you make that decision, I'm not playing the game of Cigar International because I believe in advocacy and I believe in family-owned business, then it's amazing what you can do. And it's not as fast. It's painful sometimes because you want your sales to grow. But we know that doing it right means that we're going to be here for a very long time. And it's conversations like this that get me excited to talk about what we're doing, after meeting Jack and Johnny and now you, Sean. This is where the magic happens because it's not advertising and Cigar Aficionado. That's another one of our mistakes. They did everything they said they would do. There's no bone to pick with Cigar Aficionado. They did everything. However, their audience is changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we went to some friend at TCU, his name's Bob Aiken, and we did some consumer purchasing surveys, and we tried to really understand what influences us to try a cigar. Now, you guys know this in your gut. You already know it. But the answer is it's when your friend puts a cigar in your hand or when your tobacconist who you trust puts one in your hand.
Exactly.
That's what introduces you. And that's what makes the journey so exciting for us. It's our friends and our tobacconists.
Yep.
And I'll say, Dan, that just proves or gives testament to the integrity of Micallef Cigars, and yourself, and it pushes back to what I think all of us on the Retro Smoke Deck can kind of hold true and dear to our heart, the originality or that close-knitness that comes with the cigar industry.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we love that. I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely.
You step into an industry and there's these giants who they did all the heavy lifting the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
There's about a 120-year history of commercial cigars in the United States, maybe a little further back. But in the last 30 years, you got to look to people like Rocky Patel and the Fuentes and some of these family-owned business that have protected our rights to be able to smoke. You got to have respect for those gentlemen. And we're coming in saying, okay, it's our turn now. We're going to build great cigars, and we're going to grow that smoking base again with the brick and mortars. I'm smoking right now. Let me see if I can put it up. This is called the Micallef Migdalia SE. Migdalia is the name of our master blender. She left Cuba. It's Gomez Sanchez family. It's an incredible story. So we have a woman. And this cigar celebrates, it launches every International Women's Day. and it's about celebrating strong women. And I mean, if you can't find a strong woman in your life, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Whether it's your wife or your mom or your sister or your Aunt Sean, you know, get her on the good stuff. But we love celebrating strong women. I'll pause here for a second and take the band off the back. On the back of this band, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's see if we can get it up there. That's not going to work too well. What it says is Micallef Cigars celebrating strong women, fierce minds, brave spirits, kind hearts. You know, and we like leaving little things like this behind, but it's about growing the industry. You know, we want to be able to smoke with men and women.
Yep.
Everything that we're doing.
And I think one of the biggest things. Go ahead, Sean.
No. I was going to say, I think right now, like, you're finding out that there are so many more women smokers right now than I think there has been in maybe the last 5 to 8 years. Yeah. I mean, you go into your local brick and mortar shop and, you know, they outrival some of the guys sometimes where they have their own bag of wine and they're having their own girls' night. And you're just like, well, geez, well, now where am I going to sit? You know, like it never used to be that way. But now I love seeing that there's such a mixture around. And I'm glad that Micallef is actually, you know, incorporating that in your product as well. I think that's what makes you guys a really strong brand as well.
Well, I've got Amanda Micallef, who's my marketing VP, that Jack didn't get to meet when he was here, but she's a powder keg of energy. And the one thing that she really helped me understand about how to think about this, women do not want us to take a cigar and paint it pink and just shrink it down. Nope. They don't want a Barbie doll cigar. They want the same best stuff that we have. And the retailers that I talk to as they build their women clients, they're like, the great thing about women is they ain't afraid to buy what they want.
This is true.
Whether it's shoes or cigars or handbags, they're not afraid.
No, for sure.
And I think that's one thing that is excellent too, is because, you know, people have this mantra that women smoke, you know, only flavored cigars, and women only smoke, you know, big cigars or smaller ring gauge or dainty looking cigars. And one thing that is not factual about that is women smoke the same thing. So like when I encounter women that be like, hey, I'm looking for the female cigar, I was like, I don't have those. You know, what are those? You know what I mean? Because I see more grown men on a daily coming in getting a 6x60 Fat Bottom Betty, or now the Furro Tiago Metropolitan, or you know, we did Fours just launched another flavored tobacco, and I guarantee it's going to be mainly consumed by males. And it's like, stop thinking that, you know, the industry is, you know, kind of catering to this male. And Dan, what you're doing, not only focusing on the female fortitude really to developing the product, but it's also allowing, you know, people to see, hey, there's a lot more female interactions. And if it in fact wasn't for a lot of females being in our industry, a lot of the cigars that we get and that we like would be completely opposite.
Yep. You know, Jack, you're exactly right. When we look at our factory, we have more women than men. And that's actually very normal in the industry. Yep. You know, you've got men who may move the bales of tobacco around because they're physically heavy and they don't have no forklifts down there. But after a cigar has been bunched, it's predominantly women who put on those beautiful wrappers, who do the packaging, who get our bands on perfect, and only the women can see the colors to match them in a box. Yeah. They have far superior color eyesight than we do. And so it's kind of funny for us to see that, you know, of course we should have women enjoying the best cigars with us. Over half our staff is women.
Yep. I mean, when I used to work at the Smoking Dog, it was a woman who owns the Smoking Dog, Joni Kraft. She had her own cigar shop. She bought all her own cigars. I mean, she brought in some of the best stuff that men love to smoke. And then, you know, somebody would come in and say, well, is the owner here? And she'd say, well, I'm the owner. And they were like, oh, well, is your husband here? And she's like, well, no, but why would you need him? I smoke more than he does. So what's your point? You know, but it's just funny to see how things are starting to turn around now, where you can go in and see a woman at the front desk saying, I know exactly what you're going to want.
Yeah.
And like you said, Dan, some of the times I'd rather have her pick out my cigars for me than most of the guys sitting in the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
She just knows.
Well, there's some science that ladies also have more accurate taste than we do too. It would not surprise me one bit. I know for sure on the eyesight, but of course, and life's so much more fun doing these things together. And at our event last night, it was so much fun seeing all these ambassador families where the men and women were smoking together, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. It was just an amazing event last night.
And Dan, to pay tribute to Micallef Cigars, down here, there's a tobacco shop called Lighthouse Cigars and Gifts. And they're a huge supplier of Micallef cigars. And just going back as to what Sean and you both said, just seeing like couples coming out of the shop, like, and just the backbone of the Micallef Foundation is supporting brick and mortars. They've been in the game for, God, Lighthouse has been in the game probably since before I could smoke. You know what I'm saying?
That's like 4 years, right?
No, it's since 2015. Jack, don't do it. We're almost the same age, Jack. Jack, you got it. And Sean too.
I'm only 29. I'm only 29, so I don't
turn 30. So
that's all right. I said I really like Johnny because he understands younger people. He looks so young. So thank you for imparting your wisdom to us.
Oh man!
Hey, the crazy part about Johnny. He's so young, but he's so wise too, right?
Amen.
He is the president of a club that has smokers from all age in there, and it's like they're looking at Johnny for guidance. I think a lot of it is they don't know what the hell Johnny's gonna do, and it's gonna be entertainment. But nevertheless, Johnny is.
Oh man! Listen, I'm gonna shout someone out. I saw my former LT, Thaddeus Cole. He tuned in. I deployed with that guy back in 2017, I think it was, sir. I think he's a captain now, but the Pinot Major. How you doing, sir?
Hey, there you go, man. Hey, so Dan, speaking of the Micallef initiative and things that Micallef has going on, I mean, you guys have made some very impactful stands. I don't want to include Sean in here because we don't know his thought process yet, but me and Johnny have spoke about this several times, and not only did you cut off, Cigar Aficionado, Cigar International, but you cut off Provada Cigar Club. What was the thought process behind that?
All right, guys, I get smarter as I do these things.
Yeah.
First thing I got to tell you is we had shared customers between Provada and Micallef. And one of the things that when we did a cease and desist with Provada. But one of the things I needed to do better was to communicate to our shared customers that we love our customers. We just may not agree on all the same things.
Absolutely.
And in the case with Provada, he's got his own model. He's got the things doing. But to be a Micallef authorized retailer, you have to have a physical shop.
Yeah.
Because we want to be in the brick and mortar business. Now, we love it if you have an online presence too. That's like a modern brick and mortar. But unfortunately, with Provada, he didn't want to engage in dialogue that we're having right now. And so we had to open up our toolkit and use some legal weapons to rectify the situation.
Yeah.
And what had happened was he had bought our cigars. We would not open him up as a retailer because he didn't meet our criteria, which we get to control. And every other retailer that invests their hard-earned money in Micallef, they expect us to control that. And so it was a case where if you're not going to dialogue with us, we had to take some other steps. And we actually offered to buy back the product that he had so that he wasn't financially hurt. Yeah. We will do everything we can to be gentlemen and resolve problems. In that particular case, we felt like it was necessary to be public about what was occurring. And that's a way that you communicate to all the other retailers, I've got your back and I'm doing what I told you I'd do.
Yeah.
Now, Dan, I do have a question for you, just in case at some point in time we have somebody who has their own brick and mortar shop stop in, who doesn't have your amazing cigars in their brick and mortar shop. How would somebody go about reaching out to you or, trying to become a shop that sells Micallef
Sean, I want
Cigars.
to give you a hug. I want to hug you for a question like that. So one of the things when we took a year off from the trade show is, at Micallef Cigars, effectively, we believe we can do anything, but you got to make choices about what sequence you're going to do things in. When I started as a leader, I took a considerable amount of funding and invested in tobacco. And we started buying out full farms up in the San Andreas area, which is where the Gomez Sanchez had lived. Then the year that we didn't go to the trade show, we used that money to build a sales force that covers from the east, from the Rocky Mountains east. So depending which territory you're in, we have a sales leader who covers that. In Florida, it's Tom Loesch, for example. And you could easily reach out to us or to Andy Yaffe, who's our national sales director, and we will start that dialogue and begin that conversation. But it's because we have a full-time sales force that's out there, and that's an expensive thing to do. I see Terry's providing me some feedback about more distribution in South Jersey. Good news is I've got a young man who started with us 2 months ago who's taken over that area. And if Terry wants to drop me another note, let me know where to go. We will follow up on it. We are available, and we're trying to listen to you. And we have the professionals out on the road working with retailers because we want to customize what we're doing with you. Jack's shop is different than other people's shops. You have different clients with different tastes. And we have 15 different blends of cigars. We have different sizes. We have different price points. And so we want to have that conversation of what's right for your shop. So that's why we've got those sellers out there.
Awesome.
And I'll be honest, from a retailer standpoint, a lot of these guys are the same, right? Yeah. And when I say guys, I'm talking about manufacturers and opening up accounts. The biggest problem is you have so many different types of quote unquote cigar lounges now, right? Yeah. You have, the mobile cigar lounges, you have internet-based sales, you have, function, cigar vendors where, they're doing all of this stuff. Nobody, actually, I take that back. Most people that is not in an actual physical location has no clue of where to start. So a lot of people, Johnny had a story, and I'm going to share some of it. Go ahead. Or actually, it's Johnny's story, so I'm gonna let Johnny explain.
Which story are we gonna refer to?
The purchasing of cigars from another cigar lounge.
Oh man, I saw it. Yeah.
A lot of times you have this thing where I even did it in the beginning where I knew I was opening up my brick and mortar. I wanted to get Dapper D's established. I wanted to get the rapport out there and get people to be able to recognize the brand. So I didn't care about what I made. If I made a penny, I was okay. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, what I wanted to do was sell product and get people to just give us a shot. I always say cigars is territorial, right? A lot of people are territorial about where they get their cigar from. And unless it's something that happens that causes you to really make this decision that I'm going to leave where I get my cigar from, you don't.
Yeah.
So it's very crazy. But hopefully that expounded on it too. Johnny, tell us about your story, man.
Nah, seriously, man. I was, I for about a year, I worked full time in the brick and mortar. Right now, I went back to work for the government, so I work part time now. And I was in the shop working, and I had a guy that I know from social media come inside, and he was buying a lot of different cigars, and it was different. It was weird. Like it was like 10 Fat Bottom Bettys, and then 10 Placentias, and then like a couple 7,000 Padrones. It was a weird selection. So I'm like, I know what he's doing. The guy, he has a mobile lounge that he has, and he was buying from a brick and mortar to resell in his mobile lounge. And I mean, at the end of the day, yes, the brick and mortar made money, but then on the flip side, like I told Jack, I'm like, yo, what is he going to charge these customers for these cigars in this mobile lounge that he just paid retail price for these cigars for? I mean, either you're not going to make money or you're just going to be slapping folks in the head in prices, which is not fair to the consumers.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. So
hey, Johnny, let me ask you a question about that.
Uh-huh.
Because it brings up a really good point.
Absolutely.
In our portfolio, in a low tax state like Florida, our cigars go from $4.5 to 42. So we have value cigars. Most of our cigars are $12, and then we got 42 for celebration.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think that's cool about the mobile is they're interesting some new smokers, right? They're creating a new experience. And I think that when you're in an experience like that, sometimes you're going to expect to pay a premium over
Absolutely.
brick and mortar.
Absolutely.
So that's how I think they may be doing it.
Absolutely. I agree. Actually, I ran a mobile lounge for about a year, actually. So, but it was just.
He didn't run it. He owned it.
I owned it.
It's a difference.
It is a difference. It is a difference.
But you know, the thing about mobile lounge that I love about mobile lounges, Dan, you're absolutely right. It brings in a different clientele base and really introduces, people to the craft of cigars. Because 9 times out of 10, what you're doing is a some type of private events, a wedding, company event, something where people is like, I don't like cigars. They smell X, Y, and Z. And it's like, yo, have you really got into the real facts and meat and potatoes about cigars? Has somebody actually taken the time out to show you what a good cigar is and what a good cigar is not? There's not such thing as a bad cigar. There's a cigar for everybody.
Everyone.
But nevertheless, at the end of the day, it's all about your journey that you're in now that dictates what you should be smoking. So Dan, kind of speaking on that, what is some different, a question was asked, what kind of cigars are you making? We're not going to necessarily answer that question, but what I do want is to talk about kind of the complexity of your cigars, the ranging. What is a good beginner cigar for Micallef? What is a good, celebratory cigar for Micallef?
Yeah, absolutely. The magic to our cigar making is the Gomez Sanchez family, which I've mentioned. I mentioned Magdalia's the blender, and her son Joe and Adele. And they've been in the cigar making business since at least 1934 that I can track back to. And when they fled Cuba, they landed in the San Andreas Valley in Mexico. They were farming there. Then, Mexico's a tough place, had their farms stolen from them. They ended up in Esteli. And so what we've done is we've had them focus on the blends that are the pride of their family. So what you're going to find, our cigars are smooth, they're medium plus, lots of complexities in the flavor, very Cubanesque in terms of the way they're constructed. I get more confidence all the time. I believe we have some of the best constructed cigars in the industry. And what you will find is that we have cigars at the $4.50 range called the Tosadores, which is named after the people who roll them. And that's kind of our value cigars. And then the prices just step up as we go into different blends. And complexity, medium plus is pretty much the name of the game. The Riata is one that's a milder cigar. And as we think about the future, we also want to have an answer for a stronger cigar preference. And we'll have that answer next year at PCA. So lots of traditional flavors. We're very good in managing Habano and Sumatra that come out of San Andreas Valley. So it's
some of my favorites.
Your flavor profile, that's our wheelhouse. An example of something we don't do is we don't have a Connecticut Broadleaf. And people are like, why do you not do that? And the answer is when we came into the industry, the FDA had cracked down and you had to have predicates, which were examples of products that were on the market at a certain time. And so now that we've had some wins in the fight, we may open up and look at some other tobaccos that we haven't traditionally worked with, but we absolutely, our wheelhouse is that Sumatra and that Habano. We've got a great Ecuadorian shaped Connecticut. It's got a little more strength to it than most Connecticut's. And like Brian Singer's saying here, he's an ambassador friend of ours. We have a passport program that helps people understand our portfolio. And the one cigar I haven't talked about is the Micallef A. It's not an A in size. It's an A for ambassador. They named it with us while we were all in the pandemic. They helped us with this. And that is a cigar that's got a great set of flavors. And if you're a Maduro smoker, it's probably right in your wheelhouse. And I think it's 9.5.
Okay. I think speaking on that PCA one, and then I'm going to turn it over to one of my other lovely co-hosts. Speaking of that PCA 2023, so I know did you give it out at the Ambassador Open House, Dan?
We're gonna have a special cigar that'll be available at PCA at the Great Smoke with Abe and the Smoke Inn team.
So
when we were at the open house, we did a coin for everybody that went to headquarters.
So I could say, because I've been lucky enough to smoke this cigar, this 2023 PCA release is a must add to your cigar collection. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm going to say is you must add this to your cigar selection.
And you know what, Jack? What's beautiful is our 2023 cigars that'll be PCA next year, next July. They started going in boxes on July 17th.
Nice.
So we are operators, manufacturers, and it takes a while to get through some of your own problems that you create for yourself. But our plan is strong, and it's focused around what ambassadors and retailers and consumers tell us they find interesting.
You know, it's funny because, you know, before Jack and Johnny invited me into this awesome virtual smoke deck, I'm getting married in October, so I wanted to have some cigars at my wedding, and I'm kind of thinking, and I'm like, you know, what do I kind of want to have there? I have some people that don't really smoke cigars, and then I have people that do smoke cigars, a bunch of friends of mine that smoke, and, you know, next thing you know, Jack calls me and he's like, oh yeah, like we're going to do this virtual smoke deck. Me and Johnny both want you there. And then we get a phone call saying Micallef is going to be one of our sponsors. Like, he's going to be the sponsor. And I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to have at the wedding, because I've been smoking Micallef for a couple of years now. And one of the brick and mortar shops in Medford, New Jersey, Heritage Cigars, they actually introduced them to me, and I was like, that was it. Like, that was exactly. So it all kind of came together, and it was like, you know what, what's a better way to help promote this than to have some Micallef cigars at my wedding, a day that I'll remember and a day that everyone will remember the Micallef cigars as well. So I thought that was like the answer to my prayers right there.
Sean, what's the date?
October 29th
of this year.
10 days after
of this year. So next month.
All right. I got to work with Jack and get some details on the back, but I know that Al Micallef and I would like to send you some cigars.
Oh, you
nice.
You guys don't have to do that, but we just were so happy to have you guys. You know, have you and Micallef behind us. That's just the main thing, is to have you guys behind us. But I mean, I know that a lot of friends of mine, they haven't had Micallef, and the ones that I do smoke with, I've given them Micallefs before. I bought, you know, 5-packs and 10-packs out of there, and I just pass them along. So, you know, if there's any way that we can keep trying to help grow you guys as well. My favorite would probably be one of the Connecticut ones, the Connecticut Toro.
Connecticut Toro. I know exactly what you need.
I love that cigar. I think, first of all, I love Toros. So, you know, for that, it's just the perfect size. It's the perfect blend. It just has such a smooth, you know, taste to it that you don't get that typical burn that you get with most other cigars. I love having it with, I'm a little weird, I drink NOS energy drinks. So I usually have it with a NOS energy drink, and it's like the perfect combo for me.
I thought you were going to say coffee, man. I'm like, nah, that's not weird at all.
No, you know. Sometimes I need that little extra kick to get this much hyper out of me, you know?
No, I understand, man. I understand.
Well, Sean kind of spilled the beans on it, so we can announce to the world now that Micallef will be becoming a official sponsor of Dapper D's, excuse me.
Well, Dapper D's too.
The virtual smoke deck live. You know, that was something that me and Dan, and obviously the virtual smoke deck team has been discussing, trying to figure it out. And Dan, you know, I kind of want to move this question to you. You know, kind of looking at what Micallef does and looking at sponsorship and the complexity of what you look for. What made you choose the virtual smoke deck as a great, you know, podcast to go ahead and sponsor?
You know, sometimes these things are coincidence, or God just gives us that moment. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
And my Facebook feed, we know that all of our feeds are suppressed when it comes to tobacco-based shows, and you appeared on my feed, and I could see how much fun you guys were having, and it was contagious. And that's when I reached out to you. I go, I don't know what your business model is. I don't know what all you're doing, but it's part of the type of family that we want to be part of. And it was a contagious sense of fun and passion. And I'm excited that we're able to do this. And, what are the odds that we were able to actually get together for 3 or 4 hours on Saturday morning? And I know it gave you a little chance to have some time off on your trip. Is that the best way to say it?
Very much so. And Dan, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, I was just going to say your passion and contagiousness, and the more we've learned, the more excited we get when we talk about it. And I know that we'll do something in the beginning, and then we'll tweak it as we learn, and it'll just grow into something that you guys can be creative and passionate around, and it'll just be something we're proud to be part of with you.
Absolutely.
And Dan, I think it's crazy. I think people don't really know the work that goes behind scenes and to pull this type of stuff off, right? People don't understand hours of making sure our setup and our equipment is working. People don't understand what it takes to not only give you a great show, but put out a awesome product, and how much goes into the excitement, the energy, the delivery of an awesome show that we give. And in this industry, you have so many people that do it, right? You have so many people that start podcasting. You have so many people that start YouTube recording reviews or whatever, and you look at a year down the line, they're no longer doing it. And it's a lot of reasons why, things come up, shit happens, or, one of the most difficult things is you start doing it, nobody watches. Nobody does it. And, to see that you as, the president of Micallef Cigars, not only watched us and tuned in, but then came back and thought that a sponsorship would be great. That's just a testament to Johnny, Sean, and myself. And then also all of the freaking viewers that watch the Virtual Smoke Deck week in and week out, whether the new ones, whether the old ones, you guys are the ones that are doing this, and you guys are making this happen.
Yeah, you've got a great audience which engaged with you.
Absolutely.
That's one of the things. It's one thing if I find it funny and passionate, but when everybody's starting to find the passion and the fun with you, and I'll be honest, we peek around the corner and we say the other thing is they're funny, they're passionate, but they're also professional.
Yeah.
And when you put those things together, it's different than the news work that we do with our friends like Will Cooper. I mean, he's a very special friend of ours, but he's a newsman. Yeah. And this is entertainment. You guys are having fun, you're educating, and you're building a community, and you've got an incredible audience. And we're just honored to be able to be a small part of that.
Hey, Jack, I think you said something. Oh, go ahead, Sean.
No, go ahead, Johnny. I talk way too much anyway, brother.
Oh, no, I'm the same way, man. I'm the same.
We want to hear more, Johnny. Go ahead.
But Jack made a great point, man. He was like, like after a year or two of someone doing a podcast and running out of things to talk about. And I think one of the more organic parts of the Virtual Smoke Deck is a virtual smoking lounge. There's not been one time that I think any one of us has walked inside of a cigar shop and we haven't had anything to talk about. So we bring that same energy to the social media platform, and I think that's how we're able to stay consistent and stay on top of things, and then stay having stuff to talk about as well. So,
and it's kind of funny
for me,
too.
I've never gone in the shop and not had nothing to talk about. We going.
Johnny definitely doesn't lack in that area.
We gonna find something.
No. Johnny doesn't let any quiet moments. Johnny's gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna be the star of this cigar lounge tonight. All right, we're gonna find some stuff to talk about today, boys. And
if Johnny can't talk about it, he's just gonna play some music and he'll get it figured out.
No, absolutely. And it's kind of funny, and I kind of look at the short time that I've been doing my cigar reviews and everything, and one of the things that really kind of hit me the most is I know Jack has done it. Whenever you put out a video and you're trying to represent a band a band for that company, whether it be Perdomo or whoever you pick, LFD, it's so nice to actually have somebody like you, Dan, who takes a look at what people are doing with your cigars. And one of the things that really kind of touched me the most was, you know, I did one of my cigar reviews on a Micallef cigar. As soon as I was an ambassador, I showed my coin, I showed this, and you responded to it. You were like, yo, thanks for the great cigar review. Like, I really appreciate it. And it was like, oh my God, like Dan wound up saying something about my video. Like, oh my God, like Dan was watching my video. And it's like to have somebody actually care enough to be a part of a community that's, you know, 50 states wide or worldwide, and actually say, you know what, one guy in New Jersey did a cigar review on Micallef, and I'm going to show him, you know, hey man, I watched it. You know, I thank you for your support. That means everything to guys like us, you know?
Well, it's that's why the open house was so amazing. You know, you guys unfortunately didn't get to experience it, but you know, it was 3 days of fun and family. You know, we've got appropriate amount of drama. You don't want to have a drama-free environment, so we've got appropriate amount of drama.
Exactly.
And it was a blast. But you know, one thing that happened in your show that doesn't always happen, and I'm not sure which one of you has the child that drinks the coffee.
This guy.
I was laughing so hard. My wife goes, "What are you laughing at?" And I told her that story. And when you can translate that out, that's beautiful, man.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. My poor child.
Hey, you know what's crazy though, Johnny?
Oh,
like in all reality is we love what we do so much.
Yeah.
Our kids see it.
Yo,
you know what I
the
mean?
Mascots. Denver, I'm pretty sure, is the mascot of Dapper Deeds, man.
Bro, if you
Carter is the mascot of Kingsley, yo. Like
when Sean has his baby,
not yet, boys. Please, not yet.
Sean has his baby. It's gonna happen in October. When Sean has his baby, we're gonna christen him or her with cigars. All right.
Oh boy.
And we're gonna say you gotta hold on to this until they are old enough to smoke a cigar. Yeah. And what's crazy is the biggest mascots that you would naturally have, like Micallef has the ambassador. We have our kids. Like people can say whatever they want about us, but when we get off of here, my daughter is like, "Daddy, I seen you on the virtual smoke deck or Dapper D's or something like that." Like that's the highlight, man.
Yep,
that's the highlight.
And you know, it's so cool for you guys because you guys are teaching your kids about this awesome community that we get to be a part of. And my dad brought me into this. You know, when I was able to start smoking, I was dead set. I was like, Dad, I want to smoke cigars like you. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna turn green my first one or two, but I want to do this. And you know, I'm just the future of what you guys have to look forward to.
That's a fact. You know, Sean, I actually went like one of the most iconic things that I've seen that was like always admired was you and your father's relationship. Like y'all literally smoke cigars, go fishing, you know, go to the cigar lounge. I know y'all are big in cars. If y'all don't know, Sean has one of the sexiest Mustangs out there.
Listen,
I got his 1970 Nova. And
Nova, that's what I meant. Sorry.
My parents went to the dark side. They got a Corvette. They went plastic. If he's still watching, I'm gonna hear that later. but you know, my dad has always been my best friend, and you know, I know that some people aren't always as lucky to kind of have that relationship. And if you ever need somebody for advice, and none of the advice that I give is any better than somebody that's maybe down the street, but if you ever need somebody to smoke with just for some talking, I'd love to return that back so that way you have somebody to smoke with like I've had somebody to smoke with. Because me and him, we've always bonded over that, whether it be a long day at work and we're just sitting there out on the back porch smoking, complaining about our day. But after it was done, the cigars were done, the smoke was out, and we were able to say, you know what, we were able to get that off our chest. So it's another day.
Hey, Corvettes rule.
Oh no, don't let them change your mind. No.
Well, Dan, you know, one thing I wanted to talk about, especially as we wrap up, we try to make sure that we not only value your time, but make sure we don't keep you on for 5 hours because we can do that. but I don't think my wife would allow that. You know how she works.
No.
Everybody is saying no,
Man.
no. But you know, Dan, you know, the passion that you have for cigars, when did it start?
No, this
And
is
where?
very funny that it would tie in with the stories y'all just went through. Our best friends growing up had a swimming pool, and he was a tobacco distributor. And at that time, for us to swim in the pool as little kids, we had to put tax stamps on packs of cigarettes.
Wow. Okay.
And so we always just sit around, and slave labor is what it was.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun to grow up in an environment, though, where it was families that knew each other very well. You know, to be honest, we hunted, we fished, we played, we drank, we smoked, all before the legal limits. But it was a community of extended families, and so I grew up smoking cigars. I've never been a cigarette smoker. Smoking cigars, and it's funny. Hoya de Nicaragua was my first and favorite cigar. I've always just been drawn towards Nicaraguan tobacco. They certainly have the heritage that's unbelievable. And so it's an honor to be in a business where you're surrounded by people like that, and we're doing our own thing now.
And you know, it's funny, but we're gonna make a disclaimer before the FDA tries to use this in a court of law and be like, well, you know, see, this is what I was talking about. They market towards kids. First of all, different times, okay? This is not 2022. And also, we do not promote the use of tobacco under the legal age in any state or country. So with that being said, we do not market cigars to anybody that is under the age of 21. And we ask that nobody actually markets cigars to kids either, because it makes it really hard in court. So yeah, that's my only 2 cents for tonight.
No, but you're right on. I mean, today I'm a cigar manufacturer. I don't put brands on it that sound like cereals. You know, we take these things very serious. I mean, if that's the world that we live in, we're going to be responsible, and we're going to build products that are for adults. We want to have the freedom to choose to enjoy those products, but we're not going to mock it up in some way that it attacks a market that's inappropriate.
Absolutely.
You know, when I learned to smoke was in the 80s and 90s. Today we are in 2022. There's a different set of responsibility, and your show meets and exceeds that standard just like we do as manufacturers.
Very much so.
Yep.
Very much so. What Dan, you know, we can sit here and talk. Anybody else have any questions that they want to ask?
You good, Jack? We just can't forget the gym.
Oh no, we're not gonna forget the gym. We're not gonna forget the gym. Sean, you got something?
Ooh.
No, I think we're good, man. Like this was an awesome show, and Dan, you know, once again I appreciate, you know, all that you do for the cigar community, and you know, I think that it's really important that, you know, you guys just keep on the path that you guys are going on, because I'll be honest with you, in a cigar industry where there are so many cigars to choose from, I think Micallef is definitely one of those ones that stands alone. And, you know, I wish you guys to continue the best. And I know that you're always going to have a long-time Micallef smoker here for sure.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining us tonight, man.
I have one more question, and it
Yes,
came
sir.
up. It was supposed to come up, but like deep into the show, not at the end. But one question that I want to explain to our consumers, right? You stated that y'all have cigars that's ranging from, you know, $4.50 to $41. What dictates the value of a cigar?
Well, I'm going to just put on my businessman hat. What
Very
dictates
so.
the price of a cigar is what are people willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, there is a difference in construction and techniques and tobaccos that we use across that different price range. But we build a brand portfolio, and we know that we want to have cigars that are strong in that under $5 segment. The majority of our product is probably 8 to 14. And then we know that there's product where we do some more exotic tobaccos. And at that time you want to celebrate a moment, that $42 cigar is something special. but ultimately it's an economic question, and the price of cigars is set by what are people willing to pay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I like to ask that question, and actually that's the first time I've ever asked that question. But there's been conversation, several times on it, and a lot of people just don't understand the value of a cigar. People think that having a bundle cigar, over a Micallef, reserve
or something.
It is better, and it's more or less than anything. You get what you smoke, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me tiptoe into something that we're doing different. There was a time in the 90s when people sold mystery and intrigue. And, back then there was lots of things. I've got 12 and 18-year-old tobacco. Yeah. I'm not sure that's always true. I think that there are some very credible people who are in our industry and have great reputations, and that makes sense. But what we want to be is very authentic and truthful about what we're doing. Now, you saw Connecticut Broadleaf cigars prices increases a couple of years ago because there was a scarcity of it because crop didn't come in. Remember, we're not talking about something that there's an unlimited supply of material.
Yeah.
So prices fluctuate based on a lot of different reasons. And as manufacturers, we build cigars in different techniques to achieve it. And if you're buying an ultra premium cigar, that's $42 or $25 or $100, there's often been additional aging and fermentation that's occurred, and that tobacco may have been owned for years. So there really are costs that drive it. But the ultimate answer is, are you providing an experience that customers are willing to pay for? That's how you price cigars.
Right. And I think Johnny hit it on the head too. Depending on what you're looking for in a cigar, whether it be you just got married, or you're having a night out with the boys, and not everybody's a big cigar smoker, but you want something that's going to be nice. Yeah. I think that all winds up playing out on what the consumer wants to pay for as well. So you definitely hit it on the head with that one, Johnny.
And the cost of boxes and bands, all of that is a very critical cost that goes into this. And unfortunately for all of us as consumers, the inflation that we've seen in our grocery store baskets is occurring in the supplies and products that we use to build cigars. And so you see cigar prices moving up. That is not your retailer's fault. No. It's going down to issues like, can we get the paper? Can we get the ink? Can we get the boxes and the hinges? And it's just a reality that we live in right now, that what I pay $1 for today, a year from now is going to be $1.10. And it's unfortunate and sad, but it's not your retailer's fault. It's not your manufacturer's fault. That's just the way the world works right now.
Plus wages too. Everybody wants, higher wages for what they're working on. And at the end of the day, if you wind up bringing everybody up to $20 an hour, then milk isn't going to be $3.62 a gallon. It's going to be maybe $8 to $10 a gallon, because they have to have somebody stock that on the shelf. And same thing goes with cigars as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to throw you a little air cover, Jack, because I know that people ask these questions in your shop. And you as a retailer, you've got wages that are going up. You've got rent that's going up. And it's important that people understand that it's for us to provide the beautiful places like Dapper D Lounge. We've got to be able to manage the prices so that it can take care of your family and get them the products that they want.
Absolutely. And trust and believe, I'm going to always charge them as much as I have to take care of my family.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, they got great pricing. So don't go out there and say, oh my God, Jack doing this. Hey, but Dan, we appreciate you so much for coming on to the show. Being our guest of the hour. It's been a really great time. One thing that we do on the virtual smoke deck, we always drop a gem. So I was going to go ahead and pin that on you, but since it's our first time with our third co-host, I'm gonna go ahead and give that over to Sean.
Let's go.
Sean, provide us the gem of the week. Now, the gem of the week can be anything that is not just related to behind cigars. Actually, we're going to do two. We'll do one that Sean does, that Sean would do, and we're also going to do one that Dan would do. But any gem that you would like to provide, not only to help people in their day-to-day lives, could be about cigars. It could be about, spirituality. It could be about anything that you decide.
Well, as everybody knows, as you can see with my logo behind me, I am a man of the Lord, and I just want to, as we're kind of coming out of this time where COVID's kind of up in the air, does it exist? Does it not exist? Now that Russia has invaded Ukraine, now COVID doesn't really exist anymore. I want everybody to kind of stay strong and, know that despite whether you believe in Jesus or God or whatever you want to help you get through your day, always know that you are a lot stronger than what you're giving yourself credit for. Despite all the trials and tribulations, no matter what, God will bring you through them. And he never asks more of you than you would ask of you. Yeah. So just keep your head up, stay strong, chill out with a Micallef cigar, sit back, talk to God, and just relax for the night and know that as long as you're not worm bait, you're not 6 feet under, God has a plan for you. And no matter what, you're always going to be stronger tomorrow than you were today. So that's my little gem of the week.
Jimmy,
that boy need an offering, Jack.
Hey, boy, somebody pass around a collection plate. We got to get this boy a benevolent offering real quick. Dan, I don't know. That's going to be hard to come behind. So go ahead, Dan. What's
I'll tell you what. For us? If I ever get an opportunity to come back, I want to go first. Sean, I don't want to ever follow you. You're like opening act that punishes the main act,
No. They always save the best for last, Dan. So you're gonna knock it out of the park, brother.
No. So I love the fact that you guys can openly talk about faith and the role it plays in you. Yeah. And we got audience. Some people share the same faith that we have. Some people don't. And the thing that I would say is taking that faith step a step further. It's about doing, and it's about how we treat people. And a man or a woman who spends his or her life serving others is going to have a happy life.
Amen.
And and if people aren't quite as aligned on the faith, they can leave with that. Our faith is one of action, but people who focus on serving others will always be happy.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Well, you guys have some great things to add. We like to throw a hashtag out there, so we're gonna do hashtag be strong, hashtag be a doer, hashtag be strong, hashtag be a doer. Yep. Those are our hashtags for this week, and also go ahead and hashtag virtual smoke deck in those hashtags as well. With that being said, thank y'all so much for tuning in to our show, man. We honestly, again, can't say how much we appreciate everybody that comes in and view the show. We have fun doing this. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, give us a huge thumbs up. And if you're watching on Facebook, go to Virtual Smoke Deck Live on Facebook, hit the follow, hit the like button. That way you can get all the notifications of when we're about to go live. We are sponsored by Dapper D Cigars, brick and mortar store located in Jacksonville, Florida. If you have cigar needs and wants, go shop DapperDCigars.com today, and also go follow DapperDCigars.com. Dapper D Cigars on Facebook and Instagram. With that being said, we also would like to give our first official shout out to another sponsor of ours, which is Micallef Cigars. Smoke Micallef. If you're not smoking anything else, you have to smoke Micallef. We're gonna have a good slogan for that here very, very soon, and I don't know. We're gonna come up with something great here to make it work. But smoke Micallef. If you guys haven't seen our video that me and Dan did at the show, I was poking at people that always talk about the only thing I smoke is Cuban, and he was like, "Have you even been to Cuba?" I was like, "No, I haven't." Smoke Micallef, and walks off, man. So that's gonna be our thing. Smoke Micallef. Okay?
Jack,
say it for us, Dan.
Smoke Micallef.
There we go. Hey, Jack, how about if you want greatness, smoke greatness, smoke Micallef.
Hey, I like that one. I like that one. Put that in work. Hey, make sure we don't forget that. We're at 11. We're at 11, 1 hour and 11 minutes, so we can find that one for sure. But we definitely appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get some of these comments in. Thank you so much, Dan, for your time.
Thank you very much.
thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you so much. Until next time, we are the Virtual Smoke Deck. I'm Jack, the cigar enthusiast.
I'm Johnny, the cigar banger.
And I'm Sean with the smoking section.
And we are the Virtual Smoke Deck Live. I didn't have nothing planned for that.
I'll think of it.